Welcome back to another ring video. We're gonna get straight to it. We're gonna get you some weapons, some staff, some spells, all the good stuff you could want in the build. So you're gonna start off with the prisoner class. It's gonna be the best one. You're gonna get the golden seed, it's the best starting gift. You're going to have to die to the starting boss, which will then have you go through the tutorial and then spawning in Limgrave. From here, you're going to run out to the point of grace right ahead of you. Grab that. And then you're going to keep running down and forward. Make sure to avoid the tree sentinel to your right. Run to this church right here and rest there. You may want to get a crafting kit from the merchant here. Keep running up this hill and you'll come to your next site of grace. This is where you're going to be actually starting your journey, as this is where you get Torrent and talk to Melania for the first time. You're going to get to the side of grace, talk to Melania, make sure to accept her proposal, grab Torrent, and then you're going to finally have access to your horse. Make sure to equip it either next to your flasks or in the menu. Now you're going to go on your map, and if you look a little bit next to you, there's going to be a little monument. Run to this monument real quick and grab the map. Now on the map, as you look, there's going to be this bridge right here. You're going to mark the bridge, and you're going to ride to it. On my screen, I marked a little bit left of the bridge, but just make sure to actually mark the actual bridge itself. Grab this golden seed, and then grab this point of grace. Every grace you come across on this video and on your Elden Ring playthrough, make sure to grab it. It can never hurt to have another one. You're going to keep running until you reach the end of this bridge. You're going to take a little left, ride through this plateau, and continue moving forward through this path. This is actually going to give you access to a kind of early mid-game area that you'd have to fight 2 bosses to get to beforehand, or any of the lakes. Grab this side of grace here, which is going to be next to this church. As you run through in here, you're going to find a sacred tier, and you're going to find Thorps. Now, if you talk to him, all you have to do is give him 10 runes, and he'll offer you to teach you some spells. Seems like a pretty good deal to me, because you can get a really good spell this. Make sure to grab Glintstone Pebble, at least, from these. That's the best one, and that's a very cost-efficient spell. Now you're going to start back at the spawn of your entire game. You're going to go to the right here to these ruins, and head down to the very bottom. Open this trap chest, and this will send you to this Celia Crystal Tunnel. Run down here, make sure to dodge those needles, and rest at this site of grace. Now from here, you're going to run outside of this tunnel, all the way next to another monument. As you check on your map, it's going to be in the very bottom of this area you just had. Put a marker there, run out, get on your horse, and ride all the way up to the town of Sorcery. Grab the site of grace and enter the actual town itself. This is going to have a lot of mage enemies. Just run past them as you do with anything else in this game. It's really no big deal. As you're running through here, as you exit, if you look to the left, there's going to be a shack that actually is a quest line if you want to do that, but I personally saved that for later. Run through here, keep going down this path. As you look, there's going to be your monument. Now check the map again, your new map, and mark at the very top of this area. This is going to be a ruins. That is the next area we are going to be stopping at. Now, if you look, all you're going to have to do is follow downhill here, and as you run next to the edge, eventually it will cut down. From here, you can grab another side of grace, and you can continue running to the town. Make sure to be on your horse for this, as you can get scarlet rot from this pool of water here. You're gonna run to this little side area and grab your Meteorite staff. This is going to be the best staff for early game. It scales S with intelligence, and it does and ups the damage of any Meteorite sorceries, which is going to actually be the next, or gravity sorceries, which is going to be the next spell you are going to grab down here. It's going to be rock throw. Now once you grab the spell, you can honestly just kill yourself. Or just run back to the last side of grace, or the next one we're going to. If you check your map at the last site of Grace we were at, you're going to mark 3 places at each intersecting point. The first marker we're going to go to has a ruins on the side of it, in which we are going to run by. As you cut through this road, you're going to turn on to the left right here at this outlook, and from here you're going to just travel down until you get to the katana that we're going to be grabbing. This is necessary for one of our final steps because it has bleed with it, and it's just a generally good intelligence weapon. You can also dual wield it with the other katana we're going to be getting in this game, Moonveil, so it really just determines your preference. But you're going to run through this room and then grab this chest. Now you're going to go back to the marker we placed before, and you're going to keep running down this road. It's going to take a little bit of time, but eventually you will get to the side of Grace. Make sure to grab it, and right next to the side of Grace, through these ruins, is going to be your next marker. And from that marker right there, you're going to have to turn, go through here, grab another side of Grace. Or again, just grab all of these because you might need them later on in your playthrough. And then the third and final marking we had is going to lead you to the map. Now, from here, we're going to actually go all the way to this side bridge right here. We're going to fight the Knight's Calvary boss, and we're going to get a memory stone. So, as you run to this path, just follow the path, don't fight any enemies, and just fall down here and keep running through this Erd tree. Don't fight this boss here, just keep running through it. And eventually you can either take the little path on the right to where you drop down, or you can just drop down here. You'll grab the side of Grace here. This is actually necessary, completely necessary for our the next step after this one. Now in this step you're going to run all the way here to this wind tunnel, jump up and land on this building, because from here you can drop down and get access to inside the building. And inside the building is going to have a chest containing a memory stone, which will let you hold another spell. So just grab this right here, and it increases your inventory automatically. Now back at your side of Grace, you're going to have to rest until evening, because this is the only time the Knight's Calvary spawns, shown by the name Knight's Calvary. You're going to run by this bridge and pull aggro by running towards him. Then you're going to actually run back to the start of the bridge, turn here, and then wait for him to come to you. And when he comes to you, you can just jump back onto the bridge, which will cause him to do an attack and just fall off the edge. Give you some free runes and a really good Action 4 Bloodhound Step, which you can use later on in your playthrough. You're going to go back to the actual side of Grace to spend your runes. So once you rest at that side of Grace, you're going to want to allocate your points. Go down, and the first thing you want to do is make sure you get intelligence to at least 18. That's probably what we wanted at, because that lets us hit some stat requirements for our weapons and spells. Knock your vigor up a couple of points, and I would recommend maybe knocking up your mind or your endurance, or if you're going for strength, build strength, or dexterity, build dexterity. Just make sure your intelligence is 18, and I would thoroughly recommend upgrading your vigor some. Make sure to equip your Meteorite blade, or Meteoric blade. As you can see, you don't have the stat requirements for it, but if you two-hand it, it actually allows you to use it. So that's what we'll be needing it for. Okay, so you're going to actually go back to your map, and if you look down to the right, there's going to be a castle. Just mark that off, and then start running over there. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to grab a Side of Grace, and then we're going to be fighting the huge dragon next to it. Since we got that Meteoric Ore Blade, it's going to do bleed damage, which is going to cut a huge chunk of the dragon's health. So when you rest at the Side of Grace, and you go to the dragon, attack it, and after a couple of swipes, you'll proc a lot of swipes actually. You're going to proc bleed damage, which will get a chunk of its health off. Now, nothing's going to fight you, so this is truly just free runes. It's actually pretty easy. Now, once you actually have killed this beast, you're going to use the runes to get 21 intelligence. You have to get 21 intelligence and 18 dexterity. That is anything else, maybe put more into intelligence, maybe put into vigor, but that is necessary for the next step of the project. Now, if you're doing something like a strength build, you could just not and just put it into strength and not do the next step after this step to get Moonveil. But I would still recommend, if you're doing pure intelligence to dex, this is what I'd recommend. That's actually the path I would recommend taking. So I'd recommend you do that. So right here, as we're climbing up into this, you're actually going to be grabbing this chest here, which is going to hold half of the Halleck Tree medallion, which you're going to need for later in the game, so you might as well pick it up here. And when you walk down here, you're actually going to go to the far end opening, okay? And you're going to drop down. Now, if you look immediately to the right from here, you can jump onto a platform. And from there, once you turn the corner, just start rolling, because there's going to be a giant rat, and you're going to find a talisman on the ground. Make sure you've used all your runes at this point, because there's a good chance you're going to die here. Now, equip this talisman and go back to your map. We were at the Side of Grace previously, so just teleport back to it, and mark right here where Greyoll tunnel is going to be. So this is going to be in the Moonveil. So if you're doing a strength build and you decide to skip this step and just rock the Meteoric Ore Blade, you can completely skip this next step and go to the one after it. But from here, we're just going to be dropping down and then hitting up this Side of Grace right here. So with this next step, we're going to be fighting a boss. He should be pretty simple. Just make sure you have everything we've got so far equipped, specifically the Meteorite staff and the rock sling, because that's very important for this fight. It's how we're going to mainly defeat him. But as you run through this tunnel, you'll just keep going down and down and down until you actually find the boss. There's also, depending on where you're at, you might find Alexander here, which that has no significance to his questline or to us, but it's just a nice little thing to see. You can pick up everything from the bodies and kill the enemies. It might give you some loot, but it's not that important. So as we're nearing the end of this tunnel, you're actually going to see a door here. Make sure to open this door and not the double door, because that's going to actually be the boss room. So walk through here, you might see Alexander, and then rest at the Side of Grace. Now we're going to actually fight the boss. So make sure you have everything equipped. Meteorite staff, Meteoric blade, rock sling, glintstone pebble, the talisman we just got, and into the room. So as soon as you see him, target onto his head and start throwing rock sling at him. If you do it quick enough and you hit all of your rock slings, you'll manage to be able to break his poise. Throw a couple more at him, and then either you can run up and hit the critical hit, or you can keep throwing more at him. It's up to you. So with him, you can get a variety of his moves. The most common here is where he just charges at you, which you just have to run away. I truly personally believe that you can win this fight if you just get the right dice roll of his moves, because if he constantly does a charging attack, there's a good chance you can die. So I just recommend continually fighting him if you feel like you're actually doing something against him, to the point where if you just get a lucky moveset, you can win. Like, as you can see, if I just keep spamming rock sling and he doesn't do the charge at me, I can run away and break his poise enough to do a significant amount of damage. See, he did the charge attack here, but I knew I was close enough that I could get another poise break off. I do recommend not going immediately for the critical hit, because if you get some rock slings off beforehand, that's just extra damage. But as you can see, if you get the right moveset and you keep hitting that rock sling, it's a pretty simple fight. He's not that scary of a boss. He just can mess you up with the wrong moveset. So here's your new katana. You might as well equip it if you're running the dex route. Now we're going to go back, far back, and all the way to actual Limgrave. As you can see, we're right here at this side of Grace, and we're actually going to go fight the first main boss of the game. So with everything you have equipped, me rocking Moonveil, you could double wield or dual wield the katanas, rocks. Make sure I have rock sling. I mean, whatever you're running, just make sure to have everything, or at least most of the things we've listed on this video. Rest at your side of Grace right here, and then let's go fight the first main boss of the game. There's also a summon you can do right here at the side if you need some more help, but it can be pretty easy with the levels you've gained doing this and the spells and items you've gained. Now, with everything we've got, Moonveil is top tier for the entire game. That is going to carry you through most of the game. The Meteoric Orb Blade, it's a very easily got early weapon, and it can be okay, but once you actually start getting into mid game, you can find better strength weapons if you're going that route. With Glintstone Pebble, that's 100% going to carry you through all the way the rest of the game, because once you've got a different staff where it doesn't boost gravity sorceries, it really actually brings out the potential in Glintstone Pebble, as it's going to be the most bang for your buck. It's very efficient, does a good amount of damage. The problem with Rock Sling and the Meteor Staff is it's very good for early game because it starts with that S scaling, but it can't be upgraded, so it eventually falls off. And once the Meteor Staff has fallen off, Rock Sling has too, because currently with the staff, it actually gains a 25% buff. So that's why it's good right now, but again, once you get into mid game, you're going to have to change that. But Moonveil and Glintstone Pebble, I rock for my entire Pure Intelligence playthrough. Those are top tier things. Radagons Icon also falls off during mid tier, but it's still mid game, but it's still very good early game. So thank you for watching another video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some good stuff. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content.